Okay, I'm going to be talking about my masking and cloning portion of the CGT 246 final exam. So as you can see here, this is my video file, and it's very much basic. I forgot to name it, but it's all from the same clip. And this scene is just a person having a sandwich and another person's on their laptop. And when the person goes away to go get something to drink, the other person decides, I'm going to sneak a little bite. They just left it, and it shouldn't be no big deal. And, of course, they get caught in the act, and they're confronted, and that's how the scene ends. Very simple, very straightforward. So to start off, I had to think about how did I want to do this, because of course we've learned a lot about rotoring and masking. So figuring out how to mask not only half the scene, but to also keep the other portion of the person within the scene to have the same person interacting with each other and having the same motions and such. So I divided up my scene into 3 parts, since the person's only on the same portion of the scene in 2 parts. So first I masked out the person on the left while the right person was moving, because theirs was more they were not going to be in the scene for very long, so I had to mask out the one on the left. So by doing that, I first I cut up my clips and I put them side by side. I put them on top of each other, as you could see here, on 3 layers. And the very top layer is my main layer of the left person. And so what I did was I created a masking tool. So with the Bezier curve, I created points around my person, as you can see here. And following their movements, I made sure that there was not that much overlap. Of course, I realized after filming this that, there was a lot of overlap, but I kind of had to improvise and make it seem as though their arm was behind them, or they were just nudging them or something like that. Not a big deal. So from there, again, just tracking the Bezier curves as the other person's moving and making sure the full frame is visible when they're gone, and just keeping that full until they come back, where I had to again start the masking, as you can see here in the mask paths and the tracking. And then we had the person coming into the shot, sitting down. This one was a little bit easier to not have too much overlap. And then, of course, interacting with them and having good timing and such. So that's basically how I created that. I also had to do a bit of color correction, since the camera I was using, it was in the middle of, I believe it was sometime late afternoon, so lighting was changing, but I believe the camera was also set, the ISO was not set correctly, so there was a lot of light changing. But that didn't prove too difficult, just matching the lighting itself. I also remembered, because of the lighting, you can the reason I saw the lighting was because of my feather tool. You could barely see it. That's how I corrected it. But I had to use my feather tool, which you can see here, and I used it at 8. I had to mess around with it for a few frames, as you can see. I guess I did. I had to mess with it a few times to make sure it blended well, and I believe the color correction helped a lot when it came to working with the feather. So now I'm going to play you my final product.
really?
And yeah, thank you for watching. And just trying to think if there's anything else I have to say. But no, very basic, straightforward. Having another clone, I believe if I had to do this again, definitely position the camera. The camera was really difficult to position, and I would try to have it more balanced, as well as having the lighting more on my side, and having that control over it so I can have a very easy flow. But I believe I did pretty well having this clone, and the color correction really helped with the flow of the characters. And yeah, so thank you again for watching.